Morning, probably not a bad idea to keep the umbrella around.
That is exactly right, Steve, because heading into today, we are going to be battling the potential for some of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms, especially heading into this afternoon, but we're already beginning to see some of those. If you're watching Fox 10 News yesterday, I was reminding folks if you had early morning plans, church services, you might just want to go ahead, keep that umbrella handy as you're heading into the services, just because we are already beginning to see some of those showers beginning to lift in. Now, southern Baldwin County, Escambia County, Florida, seeing the majority of this. We are starting to see some in southern Mobile County, but right now Fish River beginning to notice some of those showers just south of Elsinore, seeing some of those along with Seminole, and then closer towards Escambia County, just noticing some of that heavy rain that just passed through Brent. Now this is going to be pushing further towards the north, so Robertsdale, Elsinore, and also Fairhope, you'll begin to see some of those showers not too long from now. And also southern Mobile County beginning to see some of that heavy rain. Union Church right now just crossed over I-10. Grand Bay, Dixon Corner starting to see some of the relief from some of those showers as they continue to push away, but the chances aren't done there. We will start to see increased rain coverage heading into today, but taking a live view outside right now from our Battleship, or actually from our Dolphins camera, brought to you by Pensacola International Airport. If you noticed right back there, that's where we're starting to see some of those big towering clouds, but temperatures right now resting in the mid-80s, dew points mid-70s, so it's feeling like 93 already out there to begin for this morning. That trend will only continue heading into this afternoon, but you notice the dips by late morning. That's going to be some of that rain beginning to push in, but the difference between the air temperature and the heat indices by the second half of the day still noticeable. Going to be feeling much warmer out there. Now we are still tracking the tropics at this time. Two different areas that the National Hurricane Center is highlighting. Coming up in just a little bit, I'm going to talk more about these, run through a futurecast model, and also have additional details on the rain coverage for today. All of that is coming up soon. Steve. And we will continue to stay unsettled for the week ahead of us, but I'll talk more about those rain chances coming up in just a little bit. But right now, taking a live look outside right now from down in Orange Beach, and things look really nice out there. We're starting to see more of that sunshine to start off for today, really just reflecting on the water there, Perdido Pass, Robinson Island. It looks nice. However, do just keep in mind, we are beginning to notice some of the changes out there. Now, temperatures resting in the lower 80s, dew points, that is some very humid air. Dew points resting in the lower 80s, and so it's already feeling like 94 degrees to begin this morning. It's only 7:18. It's feeling toasty out there. That trend will continue for many areas if you see more sunshine instead of rain coverage heading into today, because the rain coverage will help cool you down. Now, also some additional changes. The rip curl risk, it's high for today, tomorrow, and Tuesday. Please make sure that you're being cautious at the local beaches in case you're taking the boat out, in case you're heading on down with your kids. Again, just always know the name of the beach you're located on, where the closest lifeguard stand is, and really just pay attention to those beach flags. Just make sure that you're staying safe out there. It's more rough, and that's going to be courtesy of those breezy southeasterly winds. Now, heading into this afternoon, heat indices, they're going to be ranging just a little bit, noticing some of the mid to upper 90s and also the triple digits. Now, the air temperature, it's not what we saw yesterday. This is really starting to see some of that higher humidity out there. So if you do not see any rain chances today, again, you're going to be feeling toasty. Just make sure you're staying hydrated. Taking a look at radar right now, already beginning to see some of those showers and thunderstorms beginning to lift up from the south. Right now, mainly just impacting southern Mobile, Baldwin County, and Escambia County in Florida. And this will only continue to push further towards the north. Now, timing things out on our futurecast, just a little thing to note here. We're seeing rain coverage right here. However, Futurecast really not showing it just yet. It still has a delay just a little bit, so be cautious of the timing with this. But as we make our way later on into the rest of the morning, what we're going to start to see is more of that rain coverage beginning to pick up, some heavier showers at times, and then we still have additional rain showers and thunderstorms heading later on into this afternoon. Highest coverage, Mississippi counties, Mobile County, Baldwin County, and even the Florida Panhandle. It's Washington, Clark, Monroe, Conecuh counties that could get away with really not seeing that much if this continues, and those chances will begin to fizzle out once the sun begins to set. You can start to see by 10 o'clock we're turning much more quiet out there. Now, as mentioned, we are tracking the tropics. Two different areas that we're monitoring. The National Hurricane Center, they highlighted this area yesterday. Now, it's expected to be an area of low pressure that forms midweek closer towards the Bahamas. Chances, they bumped up slightly, 30% to develop over the next 7 days. And then also the one feature just closer towards the Gulf of Mexico, the southwestern portion there. Moderate chances to develop over the next 7 days, but not an area of low pressure just yet. So let's go ahead and time this out on our Futurecast. So we start off for this afternoon. Again, monitoring both of these. There's that one beginning to push into the Gulf just by the time we get further on into tomorrow. So we'll start to notice more of that rain coverage beginning to increase around it. It's going to continue to push just a little bit further towards the northwest there. And then that one just formed by midweek closer towards the Bahamas. So two different areas that we're monitoring. The one in the Gulf, mainly just expecting it to move closer towards Texas. Futurecast models have been very consistent with this scenario, bringing increased rain coverage just closer towards Houston and then pushing in. The good news is that it's over water for a very short amount of time. The other one in the Atlantic continues to churn just a little bit and makes its approach closer towards Florida and Georgia, where it will start to push inland closer towards the end of the week. Neither of these are expected to become named systems. However, that one in the Gulf could become a tropical depression. We'll continue to monitor and keep you updated. Here's a look at your full 7-day outlook. Again, it's a little jumpy there with all of the rain coverages every single day. It's unsettled here on the Gulf Coast. Daytime highs upper 80s, lower 90s, but I'll have another look at your forecast coming up in just a little bit. Well, keeping an eye on your forecast and taking a live view outside right now over downtown Mobile. And there it is. That's the rain that we're beginning to see over Mobile Bay. If you look just mainly towards the left side of the camera there, you're losing some of that visibility and also noticing more of those raindrops falling on the camera. Now, more rain coverage is possible heading into today. I'm going to talk more about that and a different Futurecast with some timing coming up when we come back. Yes, and just barely missed it, but if you just squint your eyes so close, there was just a double rainbow there at the battleship. You could still barely see just a little bit of it hanging on there. It's right there, and the second one was right about here, but I did take a picture of it, so I will be sharing that on my social media. There we go. It's starting to come back just a little bit, but beautiful look. I mean, there you go. We're starting to see more of that vibrant colors begin to return there. However, the trade-off is increased rain coverage and really just beginning to notice some of that beginning to move into downtown Mobile, starting to see some of that visibility beginning to drop. But in case you get any beautiful pictures like this heading into today, just go ahead, send them our way. Just a reminder, you can always download the Fox 10 weather app because we love to see them. So again, luckily they're starting to see some of those vibrant colors beginning to return. A beautiful shot of downtown Mobile to begin for this morning. However, temperatures right now resting in the mid 80s, dew points mid 70s, so feeling more like 93 degrees. We will start to see those feels like temperatures drop, however, courtesy of the rain showers. Now, taking a look at radar, only beginning to notice more of this rain coverage beginning to pick up from the south. So mainly southern Mobile, Baldwin counties beginning to see some of this. Florida looking just a little bit better closer towards Escambia County. Cantonment just starting to see some of the isolated showers. Right along I-10 beginning to notice more of those. Loxley, Malbus, Spanish Fort, Daphne likely just seeing that quick shower push through. And then where we just saw that live camera view, increased rain coverage just closer towards downtown Mobile and where Battleship Memorial Park is located. Causeway, Bayway just beginning to see some of that light rain. Now again, this is going to be a different Futurecast model, but also doing the same thing. It's really leaning back on some of that rain coverage to begin for this morning. So again, just take the timing, just don't take it too far into account. But as we do make our way later on into the rest of this morning, we'll start to see some more of those showers just beginning to lift up from the south and noticing more of those, especially closer towards our coastal areas. Some of them still making their way further inland, but then we'll really start to notice more of that Gulf moisture beginning to push in and impacting our inland spots later on for this afternoon and this evening. So just make sure you're keeping that rain gear handy. You may find yourselves needing it at some point heading into today, but the highest chances later on this afternoon and this evening. Now, stepping out the door, temperatures still going to be going up by the second half of today, expecting us to be maxing out in the mid to upper 80s, lower to mid 90s, mainly for our inland spots, but the humidity is very high out there. So if you see less rain and more sunshine, It's going to be feeling toasty out there. Just make sure you're staying hydrated. And again, taking a live view outside right now down at the beach, they're looking good, but we are starting to notice some of that increased surf. And so the rip current risk, it is high today, all through almost the end of the week. Please be cautious at our local beaches. Always know the name of the beach you're located on, where the closest lifeguard stand is, and pay close attention to those beach flags. Again, it is rough out there. This could be some of that life-threatening surf that we've been warning you about for the past couple of months. Again, please be cautious out there, especially if you're visiting us. Coming up in just a little bit, I'm going to talk more about your forecast and what you can expect for the days ahead of us. All of that's coming up soon. Steve.
She is not out of the woods yet. The last public appearance was Christmas Day, weeks before her cancer diagnosis.
Taking another look at your forecast at this time, and we're tracking the tropics. Again, the National Hurricane Center, it started highlighting two different areas, especially this one in the Atlantic just yesterday. So we have this one expected to become an area of low pressure closer towards the Bahamas by the time we get closer towards midweek. Chances are still low for development over the next 7 days. And then also we have an area of low pressure expected to emerge just closer towards the southwestern Gulf heading into the rest of today or tomorrow. And so those chances are moderate for development. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like on our futurecast. This is going to be the GFS model. So we start off for this afternoon. We make our way over the next few hours, and there is that moisture beginning to push just into the southwestern Gulf. Now it's going to be spending a little bit of time there trying to get its act together, looking a little bit more organized, and futurecast models are staying consistent with that northwesterly track. Now if you look further towards the east, there's that feature just in the Atlantic closer towards the Bahamas beginning to form, and what that one is beginning to do is pushing again more towards really the west northwest, and by the time we get closer towards midweek, more of that heavy rainfall beginning to push in closer towards Texas, the Houston area especially. I will say that futurecast models, they have been very consistent with that track, and it could form into a tropical depression by the time we get further along into the rest of the week. Now towards the end of the week, there's that other one that is beginning to push closer towards Florida and Georgia and continues just to push further onshore by the time we get closer towards Friday. Really not too concerned about either of these systems by the time we get closer towards the next coming days. We'll continue to monitor and keep you updated right here on Fox 10. And also, I wanted to share a beautiful photo with you. This is over Bon Secours Bay just last night. This one from Charlene Jordan. Thank you so much to Charlene for sending this one in. A beautiful look just last night. And again, in case you have any photos or videos that you want to submit, things that you're seeing all across the Gulf Coast, now is a perfect time to download the Fox 10 weather app. Not only do you stay updated with the forecast, as we're tracking just some of those showers and thunderstorms out there, we have an interactive futurecast. You can stay updated on the tropics. Plus also, if you scroll to the very bottom of the homepage, you'll find the submit your pics and videos option right there. I want to see what you're seeing. I just shared that beautiful rainbow photo over downtown Mobile on my Facebook just now. So in case you want to share anything with us, that's going to be the great way to do it. I'll have a final look at your forecast coming up in just a little bit. Steve.
Never heard of the Zoomies. That was
I love it. My Golden will get them a lot, especially I think it's always after the beach or the pool or even after we bathe her. Just all over and wet during it too. So, but you know what? Keep your pups inside today because they may also get wet from some of these showers. I'm sure that they would love it out there. But do just keep in mind increased rain coverage heading into the rest of today. About 60% to see some of those passing showers and thunderstorms, heavier downpours possible at times, especially heading into this afternoon. Highest coverage, Mobile, Baldwin counties and the Florida Panhandle. So again, just keep that umbrella handy. Still should see plenty of breaks in the rain coverage, however, to make way for some good grilling conditions. Here's a quick look at your full 7-day outlook, staying in the upper 80s, lower 90s for the full week ahead of us, but keep the umbrella handy, unsettled all week long.
Thanks for joining us. Good morning.